Good evening, friends, and Shabbat Shalom. My name is Carl, and I want to talk about the value of critics because we all have them. But first, I want to open up with some reading of Scripture. Proverbs 15, chapter, Proverbs 15, verse 32. He who disdains instruction despises his own soul, but he who heeds rebuke gets understanding. Proverbs 16, verse 25 and 32. There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. Verse 32. He who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who takes a city. We all have critics in our lives, whether they are coworkers, friends, or family, or people who just don't like us. They tend to be biased toward our flaws, but that can be an asset because they're biased toward our flaws. That bias acts as a magnifier, and our critics will tell us what's wrong with us, and we can make evaluations and change and better ourselves. People's perception of us is important because it's an opportunity for us to evaluate, like I said, and to better ourselves. This is important because of your witness. Is what you're saying adding to the witness of the Messiah, Yeshua, that you are trying to represent? Or are they convicted in their spirit about what you're saying? Or are you just being a jerk? So what you say needs to reflect the witness that you are trying to convey. For disciples of Yeshua like we are, or for really anybody, it's really important that we reflect the love of Yeshua in everything we say and do. Sometimes it's tough love, but we need to make sure that we are not stepping out of line. Critics are important because our self-perception can be flawed. We may think that we're doing what's right, but the end is death. Like in airplanes, when we're flying with zero visibility, there are a lot of illusions that can happen, spatial disorientation. So you may feel like that you're flying level, but in reality, you could be nosediving 90 degrees, racing towards your death. So these critics act as flight instruments that allow you to gauge where you actually are. And again, others' perception of us is important because we want to present ourselves in a way that others can perceive and receive well. Again, we need to evaluate if what we are saying is convicting them in their spirit, or if we're being a jerk with our presentation. Sometimes the truth hurts, regardless of how you put it, but it's very important that we evaluate and make sure that we are honoring God with our boldness and not just turning off people who we could be reaching. So what will you do with this criticism? Will you use it or abuse it? In aviation, we have acronyms such as the 3 Ps. That is perceive, process, and perform. So perceive an issue. You're getting feedback from your critics saying you're either a jerk or they're giving you feedback about what you said. You can perceive, and then that process is where you evaluate whether what you are saying is a matter of conviction on their end, or if you are being a jerk, or if it's a matter of both. Or even if it's, like I said, just hard truth that people need to hear and they just don't like it. And then you can perform. After you've processed and what you've perceived, then you can perform. You can make the necessary changes. You can say to yourself, oh, I could have worded that in a more loving way. This truth is true, but it needs to be spoken in love. So on the other hand, nobody likes to be criticized. I don't know of anybody who enjoys being taking criticism or feedback. But so you can use criticism from people who don't like you or people who just, like I said, you're critics, and you can better yourself, or you can take the more harmful approach and absorb it and internalize it and allow it to make you angry or become bitterness. And this will spill into your professional life, your home life, your church life. Bitterness will negatively impact every aspect of your life. It'll poison your relationships with people. And it's just not spiritually mature. It's just not psychologically mature even. Um, so again, our critics are our assets because they don't care about our feelings and they'll tell us how it really is. And so that gives us an opportunity to get a real or even, yeah, a real look at where we are. And it'll give us an opportunity to improve ourselves. So, what experiences do y'all have with this? I would love to hear about them in the comments. Things, ways that you've grown in the last few years with this kind of topic or even related topics. Let me know in the comments section. Um, don't forget to like and subscribe, share this with your friends, and Shabbat Shalom.